Rulings by the High Court and the Court of Appeal that rendered the BBI process unconstitutional. In their judgment, the 7-judge bench of the Apex Court maintained that President Uhuru Kenyatta's role in the initiation of the BBI process, as well as the second schedule in the BBI bill that paves the way for the BBI to delimit 70 new constituencies, illegitimized the entire process that sought to make changes to the Constitution. Now, David Mudhoka begins this bulletin tonight.
The 6-hour judgment delivered by the 7-judge bench of the Supreme Court on Thursday appeared to imply the end of the road for the BBI process, more than 2 years since the BBI journey took off and 10 months since the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020 faced its first legal turbulence in a High Court ruling that rendered the bill unconstitutional. And after the BBI was dealt a second blow at the Court of Appeal in August last year, after its proponents sought to overturn the High Court ruling, hopes for a lifeline at the Apex Court were quickly dashed after the Supreme Court upheld the rulings of the two superior courts by rendering BBI unconstitutional. Among the 7 issues that formed the basis of submissions by the 7 judges, 2 were singled out as having jinxed the BBI process, as a majority of the Supreme Court bench ruled that they were in breach of the Constitution. In one of the issues, President Uhuru Kenyatta's involvement in the BBI process was put under legal scrutiny, with the Supreme Court bench, save for Judge Njoki Ndung'u, ruling that neither president nor a state agency are eligible to initiate amendments to the Constitution via popular initiative, the Supreme Court maintaining that the popular initiative is a reserve for citizens.
Although the Secretariat does not disclose its origin, its ancestry, its family tree, its gene cannot be concealed. The affidavit says it all. The great-grandfather is the handshake, the grandfather is the task force, its father is the steering committee, and the surname of all of them is Building Bridges Initiative.
I'm confounded by the fact that the superior courts address the constitutional power of the people at length, but for whatever reason fail to take into account that the president is a directly elected representative of the people and he can exercise delegated power on their behalf.
Amid the dissent, the bench read from the same script in deciding whether the BBI process had the mandate to delimit new constituencies. Unanimously, the 7 judges ruled that the second schedule of the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020 that paved the way for the creation of 70 new constituencies was in contravention of the law.
Boundaries of constituencies are a very emotive question in Kenya, and that is precisely why Section 89 is very elaborate as to the procedure to be undertaken when new constituencies are being created.
The judgment that could set the stage for future amendments to the current constitution has since sparked numerous reactions within legal circles, with opponents and proponents of BBI entangled in a debate as to whether the bill could one day spring back to life.
Well, the BBI process cannot continue, because this was one bill and the questions were jointly presented. So you cannot remove certain parts and take the bill on choice questions. So you succeed as a whole or collapse as a whole.
And the court actually didn't even go into the issue of the content of the BBI, by the way. The court said we are not going into the content of the BBI. The only question they raised was the issue of constituencies. But that constituencies issue, you can follow the appropriate process and still deal with it. Yeah, so BBI is alive. Nobody can stop reggae in the bathroom, reggae in the bedroom, reggae everywhere.
BBI imezikwa. Aliyekufa hatafufuliwa. Ni mmoja tu duniani aliyefufulika na kaenda mbinguni, anaitwa Yesu Kristo.
This comes at a time when key BBI promoters, among them Azimio la Umoja presidential candidate Raila Odinga, have since announced that they have moved on.
Now, with BBI opponents terming the judgment by the 7-judge bench at the Supreme Court as the final nail on the BBI coffin, proponents of the bill have, however, expressed confidence that the BBI tune will be back someday. David Mudhoka, TV 47 at the Supreme Court, Nairobi.